What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Vinny's Corner. I'm your host, Vinny. It's my boy, Cove. And this week, we've got a special guest, my guy, Showtime. So many of our followers from X would know him already. But Showtime, welcome to the show. How you doing today,
Thanks
brother?
for having me. It's great to be on here. Long time
All right.
coming.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, guys, just to kind of like give you the breakdown on what we're thinking about this week as we jump into things. We've always got Cove's questions to kind of guide things, but we're around the midway point for the NBA. So we want to look at the NBA. We want to talk a little bit about basketball, what teams are doing what as we're heading into the All-Star break. And then let's just open it up. First things first. So yesterday, arguably the greatest head coach in sports history, in any sport, was snubbed on getting into the NFL Hall of Fame. Obviously, we're speaking about Bill Belichick. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a New York guy. When I heard this, I was like, oh my goodness. No way. Like I was in shock. So let me ask, I know nobody here is a New England fan. So let's just get from okay, but we've actually got guys that are both AFC fans here. So starting with the Dolphins, Showtime, what do you think about that?
It's insane. It's insane. You can say all you want about Brady carrying his legacy, but he's the one of the best coaches of all time, and the fact that he's not a Hall of Famer is a disgrace.
Yeah, so one of the things they tried to bring up, and I get it, Spygate, right? The first Super Bowl, right, with the greatest show on turf and all that. And I understand it. I get it. Okay, but let's just say let's say that was the point, and we were like, oh, there was funny stuff going on up to here. They got caught up. They got penalized for it. Everyone was fined. There was suspension. Brady's suspension was Deflategate, whole nother one. But, right, so there was already repercussions. Now, all these years later, and after that, he had a whole – so, Bill Belichick was a Hall of Fame GM and coach after that point, right? So if you don't even include what happened up to that point, and just look at all the Super Bowls he won after, right? He had a Hall of Fame career after that. So to me, it was just I don't know. It was egregious is the only word I could think of, right?
Sure.
And that's coming from a Dolphins fan, from a Giants fan.
There's no bias. There's no bias in this.
It's just so wild. Cove, what did you think?
I mean, it's a snub and a message. Nobody with 8 rings and 330 wins should ever have.
It's just I don't know. And here's my thing, I guess, right? Do we now?
I think people are just thinking I think at the end of their tenure they had a rocky relationship. So I think some people are judging him on how he went out.
And well, so here's the thing, right? And you guys let me know how you think about it. The media is who votes for this, right?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick was known to be adversarial and nasty with the media for the 20 years that he dominated the NFL.
That could be part of it.
So
it has to be. It has to be at this point.
But from a pure football standpoint, they're okay. I was listening to Jeff Saturday, right? Former center, one day probably Hall of Fame himself. He's been in all sorts of roles, but he was on the Players Association. But he was on the committee for the players' side that actually handled the whole situation with Spygate when that all happened.
Yeah.
And so he was explaining some of the stuff, and now he isn't. Right, he was a competitor of the Patriots as well, right? He was a Colt. And even he was like, yo, I don't care, bro. This is crazy. He was like, I was on that committee. He was like, I was a Colt. I played this team. This was my big adversary. He was like, this is wild. Completely ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense. What would the bar be to clear, I guess, now, for another coach, like if Bill Belichick can't get in, like, how does any other coach get in?
For real.
Right?
But now I know you say like media and fans and everything. Do you think the only difference I can see out of Belichick versus everybody else, and I was going to make a joke, but Vinny likes to make it PG. I'm going to say I know something else he's been putting 20 years into, but anyways, but sometimes that lifestyle choice is what makes people question things. I mean, if it's outside of sports, but like J.K. Rowling's, right? She's a person, then she does something outside of the universe, and then or says something, and then people judge her on that. So is he being judged for his personal choices outside of football?
But like, okay, and like I get that, but that's not consistent. Okay, like
I know it's not consistent.
some of the people who are in the Hall of Fame. Okay, listen, I'm going to point one out. Okay, I'm a Giants fan. Probably the greatest defender ever, Lawrence Taylor.
Mhm.
Come on. I mean, in the public eye, Lawrence Taylor is not off the football field. He is not a good guy.
Yes, but back then, people didn't give a shit about it as much as they do now.
Like, how does it just, and it's, I guess here's my thought. And let me ask you guys. So Showtime, what do you think? If you have now penalized Bill Belichick for this, can Tom Brady still be a first ballot Hall of Famer, or should that just be a?
I mean, he's arguably he is the greatest quarterback of all time. So I don't think he could be penalized for it.
But that's like
it's crazy. Media is crazy these days.
Like, and this is the point. So you see exactly what Showtime just said, right? How would you penalize him for it? And that, right? And the media is going to take the same mindset. When they get to Tom Brady, they're going to say, well, Tom left him and he went and won a title elsewhere. Right. And they're going to make any excuse, even though Tom was also penalized, even though Tom served a suspension for deflate. Right. So according to the same criteria, Tom should also not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But
I have actually read somewhere that the NFL just kind of that gate has been just swept under the rug, and they're like, Tom didn't really do anything wrong. He did serve his time, but they're really not going to put it in the record books that this was foul.
Supposedly, all the tape from Spygate from that time, the NFL destroyed all of it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They're going with that they didn't cheat, that it just didn't happen.
It's just like I don't know, man. This stuff's
wild.
Image.
I literally looked it up before, and because I was talking to an England fan, that he said Spygate was just expunged. I'm like, just like the USC title with Reggie Bush and whatever. It's like that. They just expunged it, like it never happened. They were penalized then, but now it's not going to have an asterisk next to it.
So now this kind of brings up just like the whole Hall of Fame thing, right? Because Carlos Beltran just got into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Famously, he was the manager of the caught red-handed cheating Astros, right? Yeah. It's like, and so it's very hard, at least for me. I don't know how you guys feel. It's hard for me to take Hall of Fames serious at this point, because like
incredibly difficult.
There's so much politics involved, like
exactly.
Like Barry Bonds, a Hall of Famer. It just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
But would that also be the reason why Belichick is because of the Spygate scandal? Like, he's a part of it. Like, do you think that
100%? Oh, 100% of the time, people didn't like him. Some people didn't feel like they were penalized enough, right? And you get these blowhards who have never had power in anything else in their life, right? And you get a guy who's been all powerful for all these years, and they're like, well, we can dictate something for him now, and like they lower the boom on him. But like from a football standpoint, there's no way it doesn't make the NFL look bad. Like, there's no way.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, bro. It's a crazy look. Like, those 10 people who voted against it, like those guys, they're diabolical. Like, I don't, it's just terrible people. So now, Cove, I'm looking at these questions here. I'm curious about this, right? So why don't you just I'm gonna let you kind of take this over for the NBA stuff. But before we jump in, you touched on, what if Belichick never coaches in the NFL again?
Yeah.
I feel like the ship has already sailed. What do you think,
But-
Showtime?
He's done. He's not coming back.
Yeah,
No,
I think
but
he's
if
over.
he does, but I'm saying with this snub, he comes back in and does something, and then leaves again, and then goes, "Hey, I did come back, and I did have a good career. After I finished my career good, and maybe change your mind."
But there's nothing like the guy. Okay, the guy you already touched on it first, right? He's an 8-time Super Bowl champion. He's been to 10 Super Bowls. He is a 2-time offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, right? He's a coordinator for the Giants. He's also under Bill Parcells, right? Then he's a 6-time Super Bowl head coach. Like, it just 332 wins. There's nothing he can do to improve his legacy. If he's not worthy, then basically the only coach that is worthy is Don Shula. If Bill Belichick's not worthy, no other coach is worthy after him.
Yeah.
I don't, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe not they're not worthy, but they're not first ballot Hall of Famers, which is like, the big slap in the face in the in the NFL. So I don't know. I wanted to touch on that because to me, this whole Bill Belichick thing was, and again, like, I'm a Giants fan. I'm from New York. Like, F everything in that direction. But that's just crazy. I'm also a fan of the sport, and I know what's supposed to be and what and what shouldn't. All right, so tonight's about basketball. I got my Knicks shirt on, even though we're third place in the East and we shouldn't be. I'm going to turn it over to my guy Cove so he can start asking us, the basketball fans, some questions. Rock and roll.
So first, there's like Caleb's like, should Giannis go? But we're gonna touch on that one in a minute because I have questions about that. So the first one has ESPN Power Rankings says the Thunder are the team to beat. Are the Oklahoma City Thunder actually built for a deep playoff run, or are they setting up another great regular season early exit story?
Showtime?
So that's a very, very interesting question. Like, they started the season off really well, and they kind of tapered off. I think it's all about how they end the season into the playoffs and how healthy they can be in the playoffs, because they've had a ton of injuries. So it's really depending on that, I think.
Here's what I will say. The team is constructed exactly the same as last year. So we know it's constructed for a deep playoff run. That being said, first thing that Showtime touched on, injuries play a big role. That's not the only thing, though. The number 2 team in the West appears to have their number.
Yeah,
that is the issue. If they run into San Antonio at the wrong time in the playoffs, they might have an early exit. Right?
But they're 3-1 against the Spurs.
Yeah,
No.
3-1.
This season they're 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
The
won the
Spurs
first
have won 3 times.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Yeah,
The
the Spurs are 3-1 against OKC. OKC is 1-3 against the Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay, just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And this is my point, right? So in a series, the Spurs definitely, it feels like, have their number right now. So like they don't want to see the Spurs until they get to the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
That's the truth. Hopefully they can figure it out by then. But I don't know if the Spurs are going to catch first place.
No.
Yeah.
No, but look, regular season records, it can be very skewed because will be the first Spurs deep playoff run if they even if they make a deep playoff run. Like, this is a super young team, first time Wemby will be in the playoffs. Like, who knows what will happen?
Oh, it's very like
experience will kick in. Like
they're exciting. They're exciting.
For sure.
Like watching the Spurs is like, I mean, it's must see TV now.
No, it really is. It really is.
No question about that. All right, Cole, what's up?
You really got to think about how young they are and how that will affect them in the playoffs.
Well, right. So the average age on their team is like what, 24, 25?
Yeah. They're one of the younger teams in the league.
Here's what I would say. We now know obviously a younger team can win.
No, you can't.
But them making a deep playoff run this season, like I expect them to make the playoffs.
Right.
But them making it to like a conference finals this season, to me, feels like it's about 2 years ahead of schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
No one expected them to make this type of leap this year.
They're so good.
I really don't think so.
They're so good. I can't believe exactly what like the OKC model that we just witnessed, right? And how they moved away from that big three and moved into like really developing a basketball team.
Yeah.
San Antonio followed suit and did the exact same thing. And so now you've got powerhouse rivals in the West, like both properly built. Awesome. It's kind of scary. Awesome. What we got, Cole?
So, who's the real threat in the West, though? Is it Denver, Lakers, or somebody else under the radar?
No,
I wouldn't say Lakers right now. I would not.
The Lakers are a mess.
They're a complete mess.
Oh, I know, but I'm just using teams. Like, who do you think is the real threat out of the West?
Well, it has to be San Antonio, right? But here's okay. You know what? Actually, here's the real threat is Houston. If Houston can stay in the top 4, right, and just if they just need to get to the playoffs as like a 3 or a 4 seed,
right,
put themselves in a decent position, then you've got the youth plus KD playoff experience. They could be real dangerous that time of year for sure.
That's true. Me personally, I think Denver, they're hanging in there without Jokic, and they have one of the better teams that Jokic has ever had, really.
Yeah.
And they've been dealing with the injury bug and just hanging in there. Like that shows their depth.
They've been interesting. Like a lot of the games I've been looking at them and like just because, and literally like this is how the books work. Just because Jokic is not on the court, some of these games they're walking into and they're like plus 300s, and like they're not a plus 300 team. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Jamal Murray is still going to go out there and drop 46 points.
Playoff Jamal Murray is a thing too. So,
oh yeah,
that guy turns it up in the playoffs. So, and he's been having an all-star caliber season. So,
it's been, you know what, they've had a few guys on the team this season, I feel like, that have kind of stepped up in Jokic's on.
For sure, Peyton Watson is the biggest one. He's been one of their most improved player.
Oh, for sure. And, I actually think, what's his name? Valanciunas has been better on defense than I expected him to be. Mm-hmm. And like, he's been like, even when he's in, he's trying, he's not a facilitator.
No.
Like Jokic is, right? But like, you can see his passing game has improved since he has become a Nugget.
Yes. And so Jamal Murray's been way better as a passer with Jokic out.
Yeah, 100%. Whoa, Cole, you. He's got his coffee and a joint now. The questions are about to get serious now.
It's just like, yeah, it's getting real. So we're gonna go on the Giannis thing, right? I was gonna see. I keep popping out. Let's see. So reports say Giannis is preparing for a possible exit. If Milwaukee flames out, does the NBA trade deadline turn nuclear, or do teams wait until summer? And
it'll be a wait and see if Giannis doesn't get moved. It'll be a wait and see.
Yeah, but where would he make sense right now?
Start him off, Show.
He would make sense a lot of places. I want the Heat to go all in for him. I want them to go all in for him. But it's a question if they finally pull the trigger. And This is the question with Pat Riley. He's been waiting for this opportunity to make a big move, and this is the opportunity. It's just a matter if he pulls the trigger. He has the assets. He has the assets.
Okay, so you actually just answered my question. I was gonna say, what would the package look like? So we'd be looking at an asset package.
It would start off with Tyler Hero because of contracts. Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, Jovic, like they would have to find a way to match salaries, but they have the young guys that can intrigue the Bucks. And Giannis has said he would be open to being here. So
I think I feel like Giannis should stay in the East. Like at this point in his career, I don't know what moving into the West would.
No, prove. It does nothing for him. It only makes his path harder.
You know what I'm saying? If it was a financial decision, I get it, but I wouldn't see. There's no universe I see him going to like a Los Angeles.
No.
I'm a Knicks fan, so now, Coach, we were talking about the Knicks, Showtime and I, before you came on, when the show got started.
Yeah.
What does a Knicks? Everyone's saying that, the Knicks had an exclusive window to trade for him in the last week of August. We didn't get it done. Giannis has expressed interest in New York. The Knicks, where we should be in first place, right? That's the attitude. This season was supposed to be our season. We are a third place team under Mike Brown at the moment, which is not an acceptable. Like, it's not. We shouldn't. A Tatumless Celtics should not be ahead of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
no.
Knicks fan knows if they keep shouting loud enough, like we want Boston, he's just gonna end up in Indy.
Well, and so like now here's the thing. What makes sense from New York?
I have it for realistic trade, and you're gonna go, wow, like it sounds like a package, but we got Cat or OG.
No, they're gonna want both.
No, Cat. It would be Cat or OG, paired with Bartlett or Grimes, with 3 first-rounders and a first protected from a first from another team. I think that's what would take it.
Okay. If let's just say, okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna look at my team roster now. Now that we're here.
Like Houston, right? Seguin, Smith Jr., Thompson, and 2 to 3 first rounds would make sense to trade for Giannis.
So realistically, okay, this is what they would want. They would want Cat. They would probably also want OG. Unfortunately, that's where the issue comes. Giving up both of them, that's a lot.
Get Cat or OG and another player like, let's just say Bartlett or Grimes.
If
you're not going to get Cat.
No, this is who we would want. This is what the trade. If it wasn't both of them, it would be McBride, Cat. I don't know where those 3 first rounds would come from because we don't have them.
Yeah,
they were all traded for McHale and OG. Yeah,
right. So I just don't know. I don't know if it's realistic. I understand the idea, but as a Knicks fan, I don't know that it's realistic because we don't have the assets to get him.
Trade Spike Lee, and you might win a championship,
dude. Spike Lee might be the curse. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Trade Spike, give him another jersey.
I think Spike was a kid the last time we won.
Yeah.
The last time the Knicks won.
And I'm not counting your Mickey Mouse trophy.
Bro, nobody's counting the NBA Cup. That's not a Larry O'Brien. NBA Cup is not a Larry O'Brien. Don't worry about that.
Oh, I've seen the Knicks fans be like, we won a championship. I'm like, so did the Lakers.
So what do we think? So the Knicks really probably not that feasible. Miami would be a great one.
It would.
What do you think is most realistic right now? I really don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. Because San Antonio said they're not going to move their young guys.
I think Houston can pull this off. They have
Houston.
Houston has the most realistically trade that possible where I think Houston can make this trade and it would make sense.
I haven't heard that name at all.
That would be different. Like, okay, listen, it's definitely not the best idea. It's also probably not the worst, but I don't know. That's like it's a weird one. That one's I don't know about that.
That's weird.
That's a tough one. Here's what I do know. I can lock that. In the absence of Giannis, so I'm in a fantasy basketball league, and I have Bobby Portis and Miles Turner both starting on my team right now. Okay. And they are putting up outlandish numbers in fantasy because Giannis isn't playing ball.
Yeah.
Bro, Miles Turner put up 53 points in fantasy last night for me. W. That's great. All right, Cove. What else we got, big guy?
That was really it for the NBA. I only had a couple questions because we're on a few things, so I didn't really focus a lot on to like just that per se. Like,
so let me ask, before we jump ship on NBA, let me ask Showtime. If you had to give a power ranking right now, number 1 and 2, in my mind,
San Antonio.
Whoa, hold on. Start that over.
OKC, number 1. San Antonio. Okay. I'd say Denver's a top 5 team.
What about Detroit?
Detroit, obviously. Yeah. You can't sleep on them for sure. Celtics with a healthy Tatum. I want to say they're a top 5 team because just the way they've been playing without Tatum. And their season started rough, too. So I would say they're a top 5 team.
Now, is Denver, it realistic for Tatum to come back? Is he going to make it back?
It is. He's actually supposed to come back. Yeah, he's supposed to come back before the playoffs.
Bro.
His recovery's going really well. But knowing, like, I don't know what the Celtics will do or not, but they could play it cautious. They could. Like, they have the wiggle room to play cautious.
Well, right now, I think I'm in agreement with you where, like, my top 5, really only one team is in the East. Right. So the Celtics are like a bubble team for me. They're like around 6. Sure. Because I feel like they would lose if they played Houston right now in a series. They're not winning that. Mm-hmm. So Houston would be my number 5. But OKC, the top 4 teams in the West
are pretty set in stone. Yeah.
Yeah. OKC, San Antonio, Denver, and Houston. Those are the top 4 teams to me. Okay. And then because I don't know that Detroit would have 34 wins if they were in the West. You know what I'm saying? They have 34 wins because they're in the East.
Yeah.
You know? All right. Okay. So Cove, what are we going to next? What we got, big guy?
So I have like a quick one just because Showtime's here for like a quick, like the Olympic break kind of thing. What benefits the most? With the Olympic break coming up, so we're talking NHL, which teams need to rest the most? Are contenders using this as a reset, or does it actually kill momentum?
Honestly, I'm not into hockey like a lot, but I watch the Panthers when I can. I just know I don't know on that one, honestly.
That's an interesting question, actually.
Yeah, I don't know on that one, honestly.
Hold on. So there's for specific teams, I think the answer might change a little bit, right? So
you look at like he said, Florida, Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's not going because of Russia, so Bobrovsky gets 2 weeks of rest. Does this help Bobrovsky rest enough, or does this hurt him by being sitting too long? Like that's kind of the angle I'm going with.
Yeah, no, and so listen, I think from that perspective, right? So and actually, I was specifically thinking, as we were, I guess, let me say it like this: as I was thinking about it, I was specifically thinking about his team, the Panthers, because I was thinking to myself, what players are there any players that are hurt right now that might be coming back? And that was kind of where my mindset went to it, right? So I was just trying to look and see what players they had that were injured right now, but it doesn't really look like they have anyone hurt. So I think for like a team like them, for a team, right? So like for like a Tampa Bay, for Florida Panthers, I think it's beneficial because it gives a Vasilevsky, it gives Bobrovsky, it gives them a break, and sometimes you need that. I think. As a hockey guy, you would probably know best, Cole. Like, does that time make a goalie cold, or is that good for a goalie?
It depends on the goalie, really.
Because they're already over 50 games, so I mean, a break sounds like a great idea to me.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, you've seen some teams in life where they were like, whatchamacallit, they're hot, and then they go into the next round, and they were like, all of a sudden they're like, they had a few days off, and then they look rusty, coming off a 5-day break. So that's what I'm getting at. It's like, so some teams don't benefit from having 5 or 6 days off, but we're talking about 2 weeks. This is not 5 or 6 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's gonna be one of those things that's a case by case basis, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I find some people love rest at family time, but some people really do not like the time off. Now, what I find like a lot of teams have done lately is they do light practices or whatever, or just to keep the tempo going until they come back.
Oh, okay.
You've seen that in the World Series, like, because the Jays had so long to play before they played in the World Series, they just did 1-hour practices every day instead of like full team practices. They would do partial practices. So they would just do that.
I'm sorry. I had kind of skipped ahead, so you were still talking about the Olympics.
Yeah.
But my eyes were drawn to the word Islanders.
Yeah, I know. We're going to get there.
Yeah. So
the odd time we'll talk about the Islanders.
Well, I mean, listen, dude.
So the hook on this is, does the Olympic break help aging contenders more than younger, faster teams? Because when they've had, this is the debate they've had about having NHL there. They find a lot of these young kids, they have hot, like the first period, they're fucking up here. By the third period, it becomes just like a soccer match where it's a 0-0 game because they got no energy left. But they found the veterans, they'll go from minute 1 right to minute 20 because they get an average of 20 minutes on ice time. You find that they go longer, they go harder because they've been doing this game for a lot longer. So that's why they say like an aging team is better than a youthful team. You get two different aspects. The young team will come in fast. If they win 5-0, it's because they scored their first 5 goals in the first period. An aging team would, like the Red Wings of '97 with that right wing lock, would be, they wouldn't even score till the third and just need 2 to win because they shut down the whole game because of veteranness.
Okay, so I guess what my question to you is then, right? Based on what I'm looking at, like you had brought up the trade deadline, right? So what team, would you say that like a younger team who's hot right now, who looks good, they're not sure quite what they would want to go out and maybe pick up a couple of veteran players.
Yeah.
Right. And a vet team might actually want to see if they could pick up a couple of younger guys just to take some ice time away and kind of keep the energy up early in the game. Because I feel you need the mix, right? The reason those vets can have that pace all game is because the younger guys can put in a crazy amount of, a younger guy could put 35 minutes on the, they could put a longer time on the ice because they're a younger guy, right? So but I don't know. I don't really know too much about that.
Yeah, so like I said, I've seen the pros and cons against having young guys versus old guys versus vets versus, I mean, a young guy could still be a veteran because he'd be 3 years in. He's still a young guy, but he's still a veteran of the game. So it's like it's hard to find the middle ground in this. But if you look at Team USA, the Team Canada, look who's on the roster, and you'll see that it's more aging veterans than youth.
I mean, okay.
So it means like, is this more like a popularity contest? Like, does McDavid score 4 goals and 10 assists by now, and then still get to go because he's a veteran?
Veteran's just a better player at this point.
Yeah.
On average, right?
But he could probably have a horrible season and still get there, regardless.
But is that really what's happening? Not on Team America. The veterans that are on there don't seem to be veterans that are not good. Yeah. So I don't know if on Team Canada.
That's why I'm saying they're going for the veterans that are doing well, and also on top of that are a name, because you monopolize it. This is the one way I've looked at the NHL going in there. It's the way to monopolize, because how can we sell more jerseys? Well, now I need a McDavid or a Matthews jersey of Team USA and Team Canada because they're new and they got their names on it. And if it's somebody that's just a regular kid that's just been playing and hasn't been in the NHL yet, less likely to sell that jersey.
Well, but they're also like, how many like?
It's a business first, team last. Every sport is operating like that.
Here's my point. I think you're wrong, because I just don't think you're saying it's team last, but that's bullshit, because those veteran players are just better. They're better players. It's not like there's a younger team. Canada couldn't put together a team that was younger that's just going to beat their veteran team through a whole series. And that's why they're putting it. The veterans have the experience of playing in Stanley Cups and playing in tournaments. They're using them for a reason. Not like the younger players may have more talent, but they're not better.
For Team Canada, Macklin Celebrini has only been invited, but not officially set in the lineup. And look what Celebrini's doing.
But what's he doing? Who's ahead of him?
Oh,
I know what he's doing for San Jose.
There's only 3 guys. There's only 4 guys that are doing better than him. That's it.
Okay,
but he wasn't brought in because he's doing well. He's because they were talking about Team Canada. They were talking about the World Juniors, and they brought up Celebrini's name. So, I guess we'll bring him in. So the media kind of pushed him in there. But Team Canada was never going to put him in there, because usually this team is built in the summertime, and they slowly practice right up until February. So adding this guy this late is only because of how well he's doing. So Celebrini wasn't doing as good as he's doing, he would have never got the invite. But
of course not. And
they're not talking about they're not talking about how many points he got. They're talking about his skill level.
Because they don't. What else? Think about what you're saying. He doesn't have enough year. He's 19. Yeah. Of course, they're only talking about his skill level. He's got half a season. He doesn't have anything else to show. He's 19. All they can do is say, "Look, this kid looks like he's awesome. We're adding him to the team because he looks awesome." It's not like they can turn around and look at like a McKinnon or a McDavid. Totally different. These guys have pedigree. They've played in world competitions for years.
The only reason why it looks like that now is just because we haven't had the NHL for a few years back in the Olympics. So if we had this 4 years ago, it would have been different.
What would be different? I don't understand. What I'm just trying to. You're saying they added him because of his skill level.
Yeah,
that's why. Of course.
But he had to prove himself. It's just very uncommon for a player to be added to the roster for a national team this late, unless he was doing something. Like, what I'm saying is his skill level is proving why he should be there. It shouldn't matter because of how many points he has now or what he's doing now. He should have been selected a long time ago if they thought his skill level mattered. They're saying skill level, but they're basing it on what he's doing. If he has a 20-point season like Connor Bedard wouldn't gets a snub. But look at Connor Bedard. He's doubled his numbers since last season, but he's still not getting involved.
Okay, so
the young guys, not all the young guys.
I'm trying to understand, like, what I'm just going to be very clear because I don't understand. What is your point? What
My
are we
point-
saying?
My point is if this was a tournament to have the best of the best, you have the best of the best play. But it's
So who's not? So who's not the best? This is what I'm like. This is what I'm trying to understand. Team USA, our team is as far as I'm concerned, Team USA is the best Team USA we can put forward. What is your issue? Do you not feel
not every team has looked at it that way? You look how Sweden is built, how Finland is built, how Canada is built. They're not built the same. They want to be different, but they're not saying, okay, let's get the best 30 guys that we think you will play. Like we'll go 1970 since you want to bring up a Team USA that was amazing.
No. Hold on. Whoa. Wait, why do we care about 1970s? Let's talk about 2026.
No. It's the logic behind it. You want to know?
Hold on. No. 2026. Why do you care if another team does not put their best players forward? Who cares? Team Canada is your team, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy with Team Canada?
Not fully.
Why?
I think there's a few snubs.
Oh, who's been snubbed?
I'll say Skinner. Skinner has earned his right to be a backup.
Oh, what are you?
What? He went from Edmonton. Yes, Skinner got some back-to-back Stanley Cups. No one else has in the Western Conference the last 2 seasons, and he's not being limited.
Who are the goalies on Team Canada?
I don't think they have officially said which ones are 100% going to be in there, but Skinner is not involved.
Yes, they have. Hold on.
No. I mean, I don't think they officially said.
The goalies are Darcy Kumper, Logan Thompson, and Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
Those are the goalies. Jordan Binnington is the goalie because Jordan won the 4 fucking nations for them last year. That's why he's the goalie. We know that.
Yeah.
Logan Thompson. He won silver for them at the 2022 World Cup, right? And he won the Stanley Cup with the Golden Knights in 2023. Yeah. That's better than so now let's see. Hold on. We've got Kumper, Stanley Cup with the Avs in 2022. And he won the Worlds in 2021. All better than Skinner. What
All
do you
better
mean?
than Skinner because they didn't evaluate Skinner. Skinner went from Edmonton now and went to Pittsburgh. He's 7-1 since he's going over to Pittsburgh. He's got a better team and he's playing way better. So what I'm saying is put Skinner with this team. Skinner will show you that he can win.
And that's your opinion, but that's not a snub, right? That's not a snub.
Well, he wasn't even considered.
They have 3 Stanley. They have the guy who won their last world competition is the starter. And then they have 2 Stanley Cup winning goalies in the last 4 seasons that are backing him up. That's not a snub. Come on. You're crazy.
Yeah, it's because you don't think Skinner should be Team Canada. That's why.
Well, listen, I'm not saying he shouldn't be Team Canada, but if you're saying he's playing really well, like you literally just gave the argument that he went to 2 Stanley Cups, which he lost both of, and the argument is that they lost them partially because of Skinner. According to most people, right? And the other goalies are all Stanley Cup champions.
Okay. What about your side with Hellebuck, Ottinger, and Swayman? Are you happy with that, or would you like somebody else?
No, I'm absolutely happy with that. Ottinger and Hellebuck are supposed to be our starting 2 guys. Period. I think Team USA is going to win it all. I'll be honest. That's what I think. I think this is a Team USA year.
Okay, but out of the 3, use the Team Canada logic on it. Where's the USA logic? Where's the Stanley Cup winners out of that group?
That's no. You see, your logic is flawed because I didn't say somebody was snubbed.
No, I know. I'm not saying that.
I'm happy with my goalies.
Like none of those goalies are.
And that doesn't matter because that's not our evaluation.
Yeah. You're
trying to say that he was snubbed. Why was he snubbed? Because his last 8 games he's played well in? You literally just said because since he went to Pittsburgh, he's 7-1.
Yes,
he was snubbed because he's had 8 good games this season?
It's just proving that if you put him in front of a good team, he can win.
And that's fine. Team Canada obviously doesn't agree with you, and they're the ones making the evaluation. Not me.
No, 100%.
I'm just agreeing with them. I'm agreeing with their decision. I find it
But,
wild that Binnington is the guy.
Yeah.
But Binnington won their last competition.
With what the rosters I looked at, and I've already told you this, I don't see USA or Canada getting gold.
It's fine. I'm literally betting my money on the United States to win gold.
Okay.
But I'm an American, and that's how I get down.
Yeah.
I back my country to win everything. I don't give a what it is.
I mean, if Canada wins it, they've proved me wrong, and I'm hoping they would. But I honestly don't see a gold-winning team out of USA or Canada with these rosters.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm just thinking about this. So I was looking, and the reason why it came up, Showtime was looking at his phone, right? There's nothing wrong. You can look at your phone.
Yeah.
But what I could see is a baseball logo on his hat.
Yep.
And like, you're Johnny Baseball. So it just had me thinking, I'm like, okay, there, Miami Marlins right there. What are we looking like in the offseason so far? And I'm sorry to just switch gears from hockey.
You're good. It's been we've made some good additions. Obviously, the Marlins are like a franchise that'll spend a lot of money, but we traded some pitchers for prospects, which is kind of what the Marlins do ever since they hired the Rays one of the Rays guys. They're taking over, like, you know, how the Rays like to run things. They trade guys until they're up, you know, for their contracts, and try to build through a farm system. So yeah, I like how the team looks going into the year, but that is to be determined.
Yo, it's actually crazy. To consider the offseason is winding down.
That is crazy.
Like, we're weeks out, guys. We're weeks out from baseball. As a Yankees fan, I haven't, like, nothing has happened that has, like, excited me. Like, Bellinger stayed with us. But, like, okay, look, I'm just looking at the biggest deals right now.
It's a off season for the Yankees. It really is.
Pretty average.
Yeah.
Very quiet. Peralta to the Mets, Bichette to the Mets, Tucker to the Dodgers, Bregman to Chicago, Murakami to the White Sox.
Big names.
Alonso to Baltimore. Yep. Schwarber stays with Philly. Diaz to the Dodgers. Cease to Toronto. Mm-hmm. And the Yankees, all we did is keep Bellinger from going anywhere.
Yeah.
Not exactly pleased with the lack of off-season work by the Yankees.
No, but I have seen some people seriously talking, because you brought up Tucker, that there is rumors that this could be a lockout season because of this. The owners might stand up and lockout.
I wouldn't say this season.
Like, no, not this specific season, but by the end of this season.
Oh, okay.
By the end of this season, depending on how they
could lead to a 27 lockout.
Yeah. So
a three-peat could lead to a lockout.
Yeah.
If the Dodgers just walk through this season and just take everything, they're just going to be like, we're done. We can't compete with this. They are paying fucking whatchamacallit, Kyle Tucker more money in, like, luxury tax because of this luxury tax than what teams pay in luxury tax.
Yeah.
Like, they were penalized hard for this, and they don't care.
So just the fine they're paying to bring this guy on their team is more than most of these other teams are willing to spend on payroll.
Yeah.
That's wild.
He's their highest paid player. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I'm a Yankees fan, so it's hard for me to weigh in on what this question is going to be. But you guys, right, both have teams that are considered, I mean, Miami's shouldn't be a smaller market team, but it's
a super small market for baseball. It's super
small. Are you okay with the current spending model, the lack of a salary cap? Do you feel like it's unfair? Is it just your team not spending? What do you think, Showtime?
I would say it's just my team not spending. It's not about that the Marlins have a rich owner that doesn't spend. It's just the Marlins are just cheap, period. But about the whole salary cap thing, look, what I think about it is a lot of teams that just have rich owners that just don't spend as much as they should.
Well, and so that's my whole that's my issue.
Like, and a
when people
salary
talk
cap
about
is
it,
not gonna fix that.
like
if teams don't want to spend, they're not gonna spend.
like the ownership, the whether it's a family or a group, say that owns like the Milwaukee Brewers, the number behind that is still hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, right? Which tells me that you are just opting to not, like, you see how your business is profitable and you're fine with that. You're not looking to invest more of that money
exactly
to take on a smaller profit to become a winning franchise.
So I just looked it up just to see for the 2025 season, not the 2026 season, right? Because we haven't got there yet, because you have to wait till the fiscal year to figure out how much they paid over. But for the 2025 season, the Los Angeles Dodgers have paid $169.4 million in luxury tax. Their CBT payroll was estimated about $417 million. And that triggers penalties up to 110% tax on dollars over the top tier. And so the Dodgers tax alone entire pay was the payroll for 12 teams alone in the league. They paid more in luxury tax than 12 teams paid on their payroll.
Okay, and so literally, right? The Cleveland Guardians spend about $100 million a year on payroll. The Chicago White Sox spend about $80 million. The Rays spend about $80. The Athletics spent about $47. The Miami Marlins spent about $47 on payroll. That's it.
Yeah. So 12 teams equal one payroll. So how could these 12 teams ever compete with a team that spends more money on one player?
Well, and so it's kind of a tricky thing, right? Because, right, when you use the small market logic, well, technically there's just not as many people here to be fans of this team, right? But if you invest in the team and they become the winningest, most dominant team, the after effect of that is always fans from everywhere in the world, right? So it's like a chicken and egg kind of thing, it feels like. Like, a lot of these owners don't want to put the extra money in to build that winning culture, but, like, if you do that, the fans will come. And if the fans come, so will the revenue, right? So it's like, it's very tricky, the way that this works. I get it, but it's hard for me to feel sorry when, just like Showtime said, some rich guy just doesn't want to spend the money to compete.
I mean, you could look up how many billion-dollar owners there are that just barely spend on payroll. They care about revenue, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you see it all the time. You see it all the time in sports, and these are businesses. I get it, but yeah, I don't know, man. For me, I don't know. So now I guess, like, for you guys, what move this offseason of, like, the big deals, like, what was the move for you? Like, what do you guys think is, like, the biggest move of the season?
It was a bunch of minor league prospects that we got. Like, we traded one of our better starters, I would say. Ryan Weathers went to the Yankees for like 3 prospects. And then Edward Cabrera went to the Cubs for their top outfield prospect, Owen Casey. So we're just trying to, like, we had a good rotation. But we were trying to get more hitting so that we could be a better offense next year. And we signed the Rays' former closer, Pete Fairbanks, which was, a good move, but it's like, does it really move the needle? Like, I don't know.
I feel like that's always the question, right? Does this actually move the needle? So the Yankees claimed yesterday, actually, the Yankees claimed Dom Hamill off waivers from Texas, right-handed pitcher. And then we designated a left-handed pitcher, Javian Sandbridge, for assignment. So I know, we re-signed Bellinger. We also acquired right-hand pitcher Angel Chavili from Colorado in exchange for first base TJ Rumfield. And then we hired a new scout. Like a new international guy to like do our scouting. Maybe we can get maybe this is the guy who's going to get some of the Japanese players to stop going everywhere else. Like, it's unbelievable. You can't get a single Japanese star to come to New York City.
And they've been rumored for a lot of Japanese starters too. They just end up going to LA with their whole super team.
Bro, the fact that Murakami went to Chicago?
That's crazy.
What are you kidding me?
Like, I don't know what I have no idea, but hey, as we're talking about moves, I
love it for you, Cove. As a White Sox fan, I love it for you.
Oh, I know. But I love it also because of losing Robert. We got
like if you're a Blue Jays fan, if you're an Angels fan, if you're a Giants fan, if you're even like a Padres fan, a Yankees or a Mets fan, you should be looking at this going, how the fuck did Chicago get this guy and not us?
It's crazy. It was out of left field.
Left field, bro.
It is out of left field, but it's because I've looked at being a White Sox fan. I've looked into it. Their new owner, the deal he has with Jerry is very weird. But it's like 26, he can only do this. And by 27, he can do this. By 28, he can do this. So every year coming, this new owner can change the way he wants to build this team. So by now, he has a good 40% stake in the team. So like, it's really going to be his money. Who he signs now is going to be pretty much coming out of his pocket. So he's guaranteeing money that he has to players. So I can see a culture being changed in Chicago where players will go because he's willing to spend.
Yeah, that's
like he got rid of our cancer as Robert. Robert came in hot and then flaked right off, but he just had that attitude and that flair that for the last few seasons we were paying him $20 million a season. He was doing jack shit for us. I would take anybody else over Robert. And I was talking about last year, we were talking about Robert being traded. I'm like, yeah, get rid of him. Like a lot of the guys that have gone, I love them as a White Sox, but I think they've done better in another organization. And we have an upcoming future like Detroit, because Detroit had a minor league system that we now see as Detroit being amazing. Chicago had the second best, but now they are the best. Like the Birmingham team, that team coming up, all of those players are arguably within the top 25 of MLB rankings. They're just in the AA right now. But once these guys get up to AAA and stuff like this, you're going to see at least five guys on that roster going to be within the top 10 or 20 of upcoming players.
Did you guys see? Did you see? This might be. I'm guessing this might be because of a pitching move also, but Seattle acquired Johnny Pareda from Minnesota. I guess he'll be the backup catcher. For cash consideration specifically too.
That has to be for a backup catcher for sure.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they're bringing in a specific pitcher that he might be better for as opposed to Cal Riley.
I've coached baseball in the upper leagues and whatever, and you always do have that guy. It's your battery. You got to find a certain battery. You have three pitchers that will work great with one catcher, and then your back two work better with a better catcher. So you need that one guy that works better. He might catch lefties better. He might catch a curveball better. He might catch this better. So you always need a two-tandem system, just like in hockey, for back catching to goaltending.
It's interesting. Yo, bro, it's crazy actually. Like if you're just like bored, and you probably do this shit too. If you guys are ever bored, just go to the MLB tab in ESPN and click on transactions.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the off season. Oh my God. Every day there's so many transactions.
Yeah, there's just they'll trade for this guy to move him here and then move this guy here. It's all we've talked about it before in the level. It's analytics.
And that's why. So like seeing this Johnny Pareda move, has me, and that's why I said the pitcher thing. So now over the next week, I'm going to be checking the transactions every day to see if Seattle picks up another pitcher. Yeah. That's what because this is I'm like, this was a preemptive move. They did this because they're looking at someone specific. That's what I was thinking. Right.
Oh, yeah. It's always, you look at how many moves there are in an offseason. We might hear from one team's 10 major moves, but in the end, there's 75 moves.
Oh, it's hectic. It's really hectic.
This is why, when they say, what do these guys do in the offseason? It's this shit. All of these contracts and moving and figuring out who's going to go where and blah, blah, blah. And there's a whole thing with it, too. For any professional athlete, it's you go in, you sit down, you fucking talk to them. They're like, okay, now you got to move are you going to move your city? Are you going to move your family? Are you going to move your whatever? There's a whole system that goes within this that nobody talks about. That's insane.
Well, in a lot of these sports, what happens is a lot of these teams have specific agents and stuff they deal with. For real estate and everything.
Yeah. So go talk to Mitch. Go talk to Mitch. He'll get your housing arrangements.
He'll get you a place set up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they got to have a guy for everything.
You walk in and you got 7 meetings that day with different freaking people to arrange your life. Which is crazy because we haven't really talked about it, but I think one other time live, I think we really need to talk about the NIL and how it's ruining NFL.
Yo, so this is definitely a bigger conversation.
Yeah. That's really a whole episode. Just talking about that.
I agree. That should be a whole episode and we got to have 2 or 3 more people on here. There's somebody who's really into college who I'm thinking of now. I'm going to DM him after the show and ask him if he wants to join. Yeah. That being said, Showtime, you made a specific when he said that your face was very specific. You had a reaction.
Yeah, because NIL is a big thing in college football. I can say it from my experience. I haven't been in college football for long, but with the U on the rise, I'm kind of starting to get into it more. And I'm just learning NIL, transfer portal is huge. Everything.
The U's got a new quarterback coming.
Yeah, Mensa, and we got Duke's wide receiver 1-2, Cooper.
Hey, Barkley. Bro, the U is on the rise. I'm so ready for the U to be champs again.
Yeah,
I love.
So that's what I mean. The NIL changes who's good every day.
It does. Money speaks.
What I was going about was the amount of money. Kids who are 18 years old getting $21 million just to go play football, and then going, screw the NFL. I want to play. So it's now getting into the argument where Old Miss, he can't start for a 6th season because of the technicality. Because he's just trying to monopolize on NIL deals.
You're talking about Chambliss. Yeah. And that's a very so they appealed that too. It was denied actually. Yeah. It already went through. But
that's why.
It's very interesting. There's an argument on both sides.
The kid's chasing an NIL deal. He's not.
I don't know that. I'm not against the young guys getting paid. I just think that if it's going to happen, right? Okay, so right now, a guy will sign a contract and then he'll just renege on it and jump in the portal 6 months later, right? They need to bring in real officiating on this. This is now the NIL has made NCAA college football a professional league. They are paid for their work. It's professional now. Okay. And it needs to be treated as such. These contracts need to be treated as such. You can't just, in the real world, everywhere else, you cannot just sign contracts and renege on them and there are no repercussions. Yeah. That's not how life works.
Now, answer this one thing. So say if one kid, we'll just say it's this random kid, he goes into one college and he transfers every year, right? Over 4 years, plays in 4 different systems. Where do you consider that kid to be graduating from?
More he played the last year.
Yeah,
most likely.
Really. But how do you get the same? I'm saying at a collegiate level, education. How do you consider that to be him getting a degree in where he's going to school for? Because he's they're colleges.
These kids are no longer prioritizing education.
Yeah,
what they're doing is they're saying, how long is my eligibility period? and how can I maximize the revenue I generate during that period? Fuck school. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's the right attitude, but I also understand the attitude because, like in America, at least, Cove, right? Going to university can put you in the kind of debt that you never get out of. Right. And so,
no, I get that. But I'm saying on a collegiate level, is there anything you can take in a U.S. college? Because I'm Canadian, so I wouldn't know this. Is there anything in that level that you can take for 1 year that you can graduate from at any of these schools?
No, this is what happens. What you're able to do is so across the United States, the way programs work is they have equivalency. So like each university has their version of the same course. So you can take these courses at this school and then transfer the credits to your next location.
Okay.
So by the time you get to school 4, you have the credits built up for 4 years of university. You're just doing it any and everywhere. You have no continuity.
There's no continuity in your education level on the U.S. education of how they transfer everything. You are college graduates, so it's like that's what I have to ask you how it works.
And so Showtime is in university now. He goes to a big university here in America. I graduated from one, and it's different.
But we really got to talk about the education, like these kids throwing away their education for a dollar amount that might not matter.
Well, and right, so this is the thing though, right? Okay. If you tell somebody in the next 3 years, you can earn $25 million. The next 4 years, you can earn $25 million going to these schools, right? If they're young enough at that age, they should have no debt, right? So they should be able to get that money, and that money should be able to become an investment and go away. So they're thinking like, I can get myself set for life by the time I'm 20 years old if I make these moves.
Yeah.
Forget my education for a second. If I'm set for life, once I have the money and I'm okay, then I can go back and learn what I need to. That's what they're thinking. And I get it. Maximize what you can.
Okay. It's if they learn it though. If they learn it.
And it's all about prioritizing what you find important as an individual at that point.
You might give one 18-year-old 20 million and he blows it off in one season, but you get another guy 20 million and he invests it into a business later on. Look, Daniel Jones, he went to Duke University. Duke is a very hard school. So Danny was in school for finance. Daniel Jones took like a smaller amount of money, and like when he initially signed to get into the NFL, he took that, invested it, and turned that into it's like worth 5-10 times. Basically, he was a smart enough guy where he took like $5 million and turned it into $20 million, right? Like that in like 2 or 3 years. That's what you're hoping, right? That you can get a guy to be smart enough to get his education, to know how to use that money to set himself up for the long term. Because maybe these athletes, and it's maybe there are like guys on the team, like you said with the pros. Maybe there's guys on these college teams that they have an advisor. They go, okay, put it here, and they're listening. So maybe they are like doing it well with money, but we just don't know.
Listen, it's about that time of day, so we're going to be shutting it down here any minute anyway. But let's do this. Let's do another episode here in a couple of weeks. We'll have Showtime on. I'll reach out to a couple other people, and let's do like a full NIL episode and like break this down and kind of like just like we'll dive into it because I feel like there's a lot of pros and cons and like
100%.
Yeah, we can do a whole show about it though. I'm into that for sure.
Awesome.
Showtime, would you be interested in hopping on for another show?
For sure. I'll be there.
Look at that. We just locked up another guy for another show. Great, thanks. All right. That's all we got here tonight on Vinny's Corner. I appreciate everybody who's chimed in tonight. My man Cove here has a show going on tomorrow night. Cove, let him know what you got.
Yeah, we'll be tomorrow night. Vinny does come by. He's just busy at the moment. Thomas might be by. We got drama. So we'll just touch more on NHL and other sports that's going on and whatnot.
So Cove's page is at, what is it, HQ Cove? Like, what is your at now?
It's Cove's World HQ.
Cove's World at Cove's World HQ. Check at Cove's World HQ. You'll be able to see it there, and you can find the link to his YouTube account where it'll be streaming live. All right, that's all we got for you.
My socials are the same. Cove's World HQ is YouTube, and it's
there you go. I mean, that's kind of smart, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in tonight, and thank you guys for stopping by Vinny's Corner. We'll see you next week. Boom, and end stream.